This setup assumes that you have a remote location that you can place a small NAS device at, such as an office or friend's home, and that the remote location has a VPN server. The VPN server can be as easy as a Linksys router with embedded OpenVPN server software. The hardware that I am using is a Synology DS220J 2-bay NAS that I no longer use at home after upgrading to a 4-bay NAS. This 2-bay NAS will make a great remote off-site cloud backup system. With the 2-bay NAS, you can choose to install a single disk or dual disk setup and run it as JBOD or RAID 1 mirror, depending on your needs and whether you want mirroring of your data. If you do not have any other cloud backup, you may wish to set up a mirror drive in the cloud NAS to keep your data more secure. I am using a single 8TB disk and no RAID mirroring because I already do a 722 backup scheme with 7 backup copies of my data on 2 types of media with 2 off-site cloud backups. I installed the Synology DSM software onto the first storage pool, which is a 480GB Intel SSD, and the 8TB Seagate IronWolf hard drive is a second storage pool for data backup. These are old spare drives that I had laying around, so I put them to use in the cloud NAS. If the 8TB hard drive fails in the future, I can simply redo the entire cloud data backup again from other copies. Since I have so many copies of my data, including a copy with checksums and bitrot detection and prevention, this cloud backup is only for an emergency copy in case of a house fire or other disaster. Since this cloud NAS is located off-site, be sure to use a good password for the user account to prevent easy hacking. I also did not open any router ports or use port forwarding to the NAS to keep it more secure. It is only accessible on the VPN network. When you create the folders for your data backup on the NAS, be sure to enable folder encryption and save the keys in a safe place. I chose not to use the Synology Key Manager for extra security. You will want your offsite data to be encrypted in case of NAS theft. The remote location that I have available has a VPN, so that makes it really easy for me to deploy the cloud NAS onto the network. I didn't want any of the other people at the remote location to be able to access the data, so I made sure that all shares were set to my admin username and password. I simply plugged the cloud NAS into the network switch with an Ethernet cable and plugged the power adapter into a UPS for battery backup. With the default firewall rules on the VPN router and the cloud NAS, I am able to access all NAS shares when I connect to the VPN through its IP address. I use the Robocopy utility included with Windows as a mirror script tool to back up all of my data. Every evening when I'm done my work for the day, I simply connect to the VPN, mount the Synology Cloud NAS encrypted folders, and run the Robocopy scripts. Only those files that have changed that day will be mirrored to the cloud NAS.